back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. My name is Steve Johnson. My co-host, Aurelio Martinez. This Sunday, we're proud to have in studio, we'll have two of Colorado's road warriors, as we like to call them. These are guys who have made their niche in boxing, fighting outside of the comfort zone of Colorado. They've been very successful. They're both, first we have Daniel Calzada. In the next segment, we'll come up with Jeremy Ramos. Both of them are here today with their dads, who have to be their trainers. That'd be Rick Calzada and Juan Ramos. Aurelio?
You know, I'm really glad that we have the opportunity to have such a couple of good fighters, excellent fighters into this thing. Because, Steve, when you look at the sport of boxing, you know, I've been involved with boxing for a long time, 35 years. And I want to tell everybody how old I am. But the people that make this sport are not the guys that are hand-fed, you know, that have the big promoter behind them, kind of feeding them. So they make it's the warriors that go out there and take charge of their career, that demand respect. You know, they're the ones that are respected in this sport. It's not the ones that are not respected. Take Canelo Alvarez. You know, half the people in boxing don't respect it. Okay, it's a chicken. It's chicken. Okay? It's bottom line, and you know how I feel about it.
Of course,
you know how I feel about it. So I don't have a problem with that. But yet these guys are the ones that are baby. Then you got the road warriors that go in there and they demand respect. Now these are the fighters that we have here. These are the fighters that the public respects in the game of boxing. So it's really good for us to talk to them. So let's talk about Calzada, because Calzada's story is an intriguing one, and it really amazes me. It makes me proud that you get a boxer that thinks about after boxing, okay? And so, but let's talk about his boxing career. Let's talk about how he got into boxing. Let's just talk about your whole career in general.
But before we start with Daniel, let me just say this. I've been a big fan of Daniel and his dad for many years. He knows that. And the thing that with him, same with Jeremy, it's hard for them to get fights in Colorado. But in Daniel's case, he felt like he could never get a fair shake. And I remember in particular one fight where before the fight he told me, "Watch what happens." And I'll be damned if it didn't happen, you know. And I was like, wow. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But Daniel, let's talk about first where you're born. We know your background, but for the fans that don't know anything about Daniel Calzada, tell them about Daniel.
Well, I'm originally from New Mexico, Doña Las Cruces area. We moved here in, 98 roughly.
Okay, yeah.
And I've been here majority of my life. This is where Denver's home now. I just started boxing when, 15? I think I was like 15 when I started. I always played baseball. Then one day, started training for boxing, that was it. Didn't look back since.
Good. Now your boxing career, did you start off as an amateur, or did you just go for the gusto? Or
I started off as an amateur. I was 15 when I started, and after a few fights here, I was like, oh, I'm not going to be staying amateur much longer. Once I turned 18, I went pro. And that's where we've been since then.
We know that your manager and promoter is Jim Smitty Smith.
Yeah.
Talk about Smitty a little bit and how that relationship you had with Smitty.
Alright, man. Ever since we met Smitty, he's just been there for me, always been there for me. And that's the only person I go to for my fighting, between him and my dad, that's it. I mean, other people try to get hold of me all the time about fighting and everything, but that's how you gotta go to Smitty. I just didn't want to hit Smitty. And Smitty lets him have it when he finds out they're trying to get me on their show without going through him first.
We know that.
I'm pretty sure you guys know how Smitty is.
We know that scenario very well, you know. And it never changes. It's been that way back when I was in high school, and it's still, the faces change, but the snake and the serpent is still there.
Oh man, you know it. You know it.
It's never going to change. You know, the problem with boxing is you got everybody out there, and they know it's the fighter in the ring that does his job, but they see it as a quick way to put their hands in your pocket.
Everybody wants to get paid.
Exactly.
It's all about the money.
So
I've been lucky enough that Smitty's never took anything from me. All he's ever done was give to me and my family, of course. But I mean, Smitty's one of the loyalest guys I ever met in the get boxing game.
Let's talk about some of your. Do you recall some of your tougher fights? Some of the toughest fights that you had, whether they were local or on the road. Tell us a little bit about it.
I know. I remember every single fight, especially the tough ones. Those hurt the most. Nah, I mean, the hardest fights I ever had was on the road. I fought in all Olympians basically, and then coming out, I fought them all, went the distance with all of them, except for one. I got stopped in the 9th round against Pritchard Collin. But
And you know, Pritchard is the kid that a lot of you don't remember. He got hurt real bad. Have you been in touch with him at all? Or you follow?
I follow his stuff. I talk to a lot of guys on his team and all that.
Yeah.
We still keep in touch somewhat that way, but other than that, I mean, he got his life he's going through again, you know.
Yeah.
And
you know, Pritchard Cologne, you might remember though.
Oh yeah, he's still fighting.
My buddy Moel first contacted me when he got hurt. He's not fighting.
He's fighting for his
life.
health.
Well, now he is because I think he finally came out and
of the coma. Yeah. And that's a whole nother story. But let's talk a little bit about your last couple of fights that you had. I know Daniel announced that he's retiring, but then I've talked to Daniel, and I think Daniel is one. Well, I'm gonna let you tell it. Talk about your job at Sturgeon Electric and how that has transformed into, like Aurelia mentioned earlier, life after boxing. And you tell it.
I'm a line apprentice right now for Sturgeon Electric. I'm an apprentice to become a lineman. And I always knew I was in there doing it, but I was boxing. I couldn't do boxing and at the same time. Cause I got schooling for about 3 years. And I'm pretty sure I can juggle them both, but right now I did a lot of focus on boxing. But now I'm focused on getting my career going as my job now. Because I still got my kids and I got to support, my family to take care of. Boxing's not paying the bills completely, but I mean,
the lineman will.
Yeah, it'd be nice to make a good paycheck without getting beat up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and your girlfriend and your kids? Talk about your girlfriend.
I got my girlfriend. I have 2 kids and another one on the way, I guess.
Yeah. Not you guess. You know.
So I'm told. Okay. I think it's a setup, but whatever.
you better edit that part out.
I was framed, dude. That's all I'm saying.
No, she's a good lady.
She's good. She got my kids for me. Everybody goes through the trials and tribulations, you know. But it's just life.
For sure. You know, Radio's been married for what, 50 years?
Close. Actually, 42.
Yeah, I got
42.
I got 30.
So you got a long way to go, baby.
So
I'm afraid to ask when you got married.
Yeah, we could tell you stories.
It was funny.
With the wives.
I go back to old school, and I got married when I was 17, and my wife just turned 16. And I just want to tell everybody, I would never let my kids do that. Never.
No regrets, though, right?
We stuck it out, man. We stuck it out.
Like he has a choice, you know. I mean, there's nothing like that. But Daniel, like I said, let's talk a little about your last couple of fights, because I know you had said that you were going to retire, and those last couple of fights meant a lot to you. Fortunately for me, I know for you too, but fortunately those were in Denver here, and you won them both. And just talk a little bit about that. If those are your last 2 fights, if that last fight was your last fight, how do you feel you're leaving the game?
I'm walking away from the game for a little bit. I can't say I'm 100% leaving because there's no way I'm going to walk away from it completely. Yeah. Everybody does it. All my family does the same thing. Like, you won't be able to retire forever. It's like, no, probably not. And it's just what I've been doing since I was 15, you know. I'm already 26 now.
Yeah.
I just like a mojo and I turn off. I'm always going to still be in the gym or whatever, responding to like younger kids we have going through it. Yeah. You know, it's because I'm going to get that itch. I know I'm going to.
See, one of the things with Daniel is that, like he said, he's only 26. But it seems like he's 36 because he's been, you know, I mean, like you said, all of the top competitors, and that's just a tribute to you. Smitty and you never shied away from any fight, you know, and I know for a fact your dad, Rick, who will be in our next segment, I know that he's always said we're ready to take on anybody, you know, and there's a lot of people that say that. They'll talk the talk, but they won't walk the walk.
They make the call, we're there.
There you go.
It goes to my Smitty and my dad, so they make a decision. They tell me, you're going to fight this guy? Okay, then. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Before we leave this segment, Daniel, I want to ask you about your last fight specifically, because you were pretty vocal. You were pretty vocal about the judges, the hometown judges. You were strong, and you know, I read the piece, that was out there about you can't get a fair shake even at home, and that you were taking this fight into your own hands. You were not going to allow it into the hands because you just felt a little soured with it, like a lot of people do. Let's talk about that mentality. I mean, obviously at that time you felt you were going to go with your career, your electrician career, and this was going to be it. But you were going to make a stand. Let's talk about.
Well, just let me tell you this: what Jeremy told me. I mean, what Daniel told me one time, and I thought it was funny, but he was pretty much right. He said, "I have to get a knockout in order to get a draw." He said, "If I knock a guy out, I'll probably still get a draw." And after seeing a few of the fights, I was like, "Wow, this kid's pretty much on it, man." But go ahead.
In my last fight,
Stevie Marcus.
Yes, against Stevie Marcus. I knew my last couple of fights, I knew I was fading away from it slowly but surely because I did get accepted for my apprenticeship program. But I wanted to make a stand there saying, "Now look, if I do this good and I still get ripped off, then I would know I was right." But even you heard the judge scorecard.
It was like,
I don't think the fight was
that close.
Personally.
But still, it was unanimous decision, and that's all that I cared about. That was unanimous.
When we were sitting there waiting, I was like, "Oh man, here we go." You get that waiting moment. You're like, "Oh man, here we go."
Yeah. Well, I'm glad things turned out well for you, and like I've told you before, we've been wanting to have you on the show. This is the perfect time to have you on because you announced retirement. But those of us who know you said he ain't retiring. When he told me, "Oh, I'm still going to be working out with my dad," and I said he's not retiring, But then you're only 26 years old, so even if you took a year off, you're still okay,
Once I get ahead of my books and all, I get myself situated. I'm pretty sure I'll be back.
There you go. Well, congratulations to you, man. I told you before, I'm proud of you. That you had that foresight to look to what's after boxing, and the lineman. Like I said, that's cash in the bank, baby. So do your thing, okay?
Will do, boss.
We're going to be right back. Take this break, and we're going to be joined by
Rick Calzada.
Rick Calzada, the father and trainer. Okay, so he's going to come in and talk to us a little bit about the training part of it and how the dad relationship goes, and so we'll be back. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. My name is Steve Johnson. Here we are now, joined in studio by Rick Calzada, the father and trainer of Daniel Calzada. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your son. I know you're proud of your son. I know that you guys have been together forever in this boxing game. Let's talk a little bit first about how you and Daniel got started in boxing.
Well, he always played baseball, and then he just came home one day and decided he wanted to start boxing.
Just out of the blue?
Just out of the blue, yeah. He decided he wanted to come start boxing. So he got into that Red Shield program for a little while.
Okay.
And I took him over there, and we went through it for a while. And then
who was the coach at that time over at Red Shield? Was it
Ron Lyle? Ron Lyle was the coach there, and we went over there, and he took an interest in Daniel, and he helped us out. And then from there, Daniel wanted to, to move at his own pace. So he told me, let's start a gym. So we went to the house, and I turned my garage into a boxing gym. So first it was just small, some bags here and there, and then speed balls, just the regular basics that we needed. And then from there, he had his friends. He had like 3 or 4 friends who said, "You know what? I want to do it too." So then him and his buddies started, and so then I went ahead and got registered with USA Boxing and stuff, and I went to the coaches clinics, did everything I had to do to register the clubs, and that was where we started at. We went from there. I ended up with sometimes up to 13 amateurs, coming out of my garage, and we went to every show we could think of, Since Daniel eventually said that he wanted to become pro, I took him to every show I could find, and he would fight whoever, he would box whoever he could, and half of the time he was overweight by 10 pounds, because that's the only guys who would want to, fight with him. And
Well,
Wait,
no, he
yeah,
wasn't over.
I wasn't overweight.
Yeah,
The
the
other
other
guy-
guys.
I'd fight
You
outside.
have to fight up in
132.
weight just to be able to have a fight.
Daniel had 3 amateur fights, fighting against guys who had 100 to 150 amateur fights. And he would go in there, we wouldn't win a decision, but he would hang in there.
Hold his own.
You know, he would hold his own against him, you know, and he would rematch some of these guys, you know, 2 and 3 times over because nobody else wanted
Just to
to.
fight.
Nobody else wanted to be in the ring with him, you know. So from there we went to New Mexico. I took him to New Mexico. Because that's where we're from originally. My brother-in-law had a gym over there, so we started traveling to New Mexico and fighting everybody in New Mexico too. Anytime you had a chance, I'd call him up and say, hey, you know, we're gonna have a show, you know. So we started doing that, and so we did that, and then the circuit here again. And for 2 years straight, he fought anybody and everybody he could. He crammed about 40 fights in about 2 years
Mm.
to get, you know. But he had always determined. He told me that once I get 18, I'm gonna go pro. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if you're gonna go pro, I told you better get in there and fight anybody and everybody. There's no if, and, or buts about it.
Well, I can tell you this. I've been to the Calzada, you can call it the gym, it's the Calzada garage. And every time I've seen Daniel in there sparring with guys, there's nobody been his weight. Everybody's been above him in his weight. And those guys look forward to sparring with Daniel because he's bringing it to them, you know. And he spars the same way he fights. I mean, there's no difference. If you saw him in there sparring, you see him in a fight, it's the same way. And that's a tribute to guys that, you know, don't take it off. You know, guys will take it off and think they can, you know, do this a little lightly here. No, Daniel knows that, you know, the way you spar, the way you're going to fight
Well,
in
like
a
Daniel
real fight.
Smith so tell me, what you do in the gym, you're gonna do in the ring.
Exactly. There's no deviance from that. It's
Yeah.
it. Okay, talk a little bit about your family, about mom and Daniel and siblings. Daniel didn't get into any of that, and I'm sorry I didn't bring that out of him, but I'll let you bring it out.
Well, his mother, you know, supports whatever he does. You know, she actually didn't want him to be a boxer,
Yeah.
No,
but once he decided he was going to do it, you know, she pretty much figured that
you're gonna do
he's
it.
going to do it no matter what. You know,
Yeah.
so you know first time he got cut, she was kind of never going. She keeps telling him he's never going to do it again, but
After every fight, you're never fighting again. Okay.
you know, it's just like, you know, he wanted to do it, and I did everything I could, like I said, you know, to help him out. All his family from New Mexico comes up here just to watch him fight sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
His brothers will, you know, will do whatever they can, you know, they help set the ring up, they'll help me do whatever I have to do.
How many
in the
brothers,
garage.
how many sons do you have? You have any daughters? Just
No, I just have sons. I have 3 sons.
3 sons? Okay.
And then everybody else who I have that fights they call me dad. They all call me dad.
Everybody from the boxing gym calls him dad.
Everybody from the boxing gym, everybody thinks that I have 20 kids.
Well, you do. When you're the...
All of his friends who came over and started boxing, all of the amateur boxers, they all call me dad.
Yeah.
You know, and even some of their families call me dad. And I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm dad.
Rick Dad Calzada.
So yeah, but you know, everybody in the family supports him, and his mother, like I said, his mother says it's his last one all the time, but she'll be there to watch him.
Yeah.
She'll be there yelling and screaming at me.
Yeah.
Well, when you announced your retirement, or when Daniel announced his retirement, was your wife happy about that? Or she knew it wasn't going to last?
Well, she probably figured it wasn't gonna last. She probably said, "Oh, good, you know, he doesn't have to be in there no more." But I think she realizes that he's never, you know, he's who he is. You know, he's always given 110% to everything he does. He started working with me in the trade, and I was more than happy to help him get in there. You know, and they gave him a chance, and he started working. And he's always worked. You know, he's always been a hard worker. So, when this came up, for the apprenticeship, I said, hey, dude, if you're going to stay in this trade, jump into there. That's if you like it. I said, because it's dangerous work, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, but I told him, you know, if you're going to stay and work in here, you might as well go where, you know, if you like it, you know.
Yeah.
And he stayed in there, you know, he worked his way up from the bottom up, you know, digging holes with his
Yeah,
shovels,
from
which
just a
he still
laborer
does,
on up.
yeah.
I was very impressed by the fact that when Daniel was talking about you, he said, me and my dad have been working together. And I said, you mean in the gym? He said, no, we work together as sturgeon, you know. And I thought, Man, I know back in my days, I couldn't work with my dad. That
Well,
would come
see,
out and been some more.
we can work together perfectly fine, but we just can't hang out with each other. That's what we kind of should have worked though. You can't even tell we're related just by the way you look and talk.
Yeah.
But
Like I said, he's I don't have to be, he's a hard worker. He's always been a hard worker, so everything he's put his time into, he's always given it time, He's always giving it time in the ring.
Good. And back to your background in boxing. What was your background before you had your kids?
I started it, trying to be in the boxing game, but when back then, if you weren't one of their number one guys, because I originally grew up in Louisiana.
Okay.
And when I moved to New Mexico, I went to the boxing gym, but I was just one of the guys that would be in there, and they would use you as a punching dummy for some of the guys who they wanted to push on. So I never got the time, to actually become a boxer. I was in their gym and stuff like that, and I did sparring, but like I said, I wasn't one of their like I said, I was new, and they had their people. Some of these people will only pick up the people that they know are already in the game.
We see that a lot.
So when I started it, when I started my gym, I gave all the guys the same amount of time. I didn't pick any one particular guy and say I want to train you more than the next guy. I gave everybody that wanted to learn the same amount of time. So that's about pretty much the extent of my boxing career, other than watching it. I love to watch boxing.
Good. Now, just before we let you go, we just got a little more than a minute. Talk about your relationship with Daniel in and outside of the ring. Just lay it out there.
Well, Daniel's
ain't ready for this.
he's like
I'm ready.
He's he's my son, plus he's my friend, and I've never, like I said, he's like both to me. He's my son and like my best friend at the same time. I don't know any other way to explain it with him. He just,
Yeah.
it's always been, he's always there.
Well, that's a good thing because see, you wanted everybody to believe that we can't hang out, but you do hang out.
I'm always at the house. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. Like you said, he's like my best friend. He's my father, yeah, but I mean, we work together. We sit there and do the gym together. We're always together. We ride to work together. We ride home from work together. It's just what we do.
I already told you that's something I couldn't have done. But that's good to hear a different perspective for boxing fans. Because most of the time, everybody talks about dad's dad, and we cut it right there, and that's it. You guys give fans a chance to see that. Once again, thank you guys for coming in today. I appreciate it. Rick, especially glad to have you come in with your son.
Thank you very much.
I know how close you and Daniel are. Daniel, we will see you again because we all know that you're not retired. Okay.
I'll be back, but give me some time.
You'll be back. Yeah, but go ahead and do your thing, and congratulations on the baby that's on the way.
Thank you,
And
sir.
we'll be in touch, okay?
Okay.
And as we do with every episode of Inside Boxing's Throwdown, when we end up, tell everybody, keep them hands up.